I very much feel you on the over delivery thing.
Yeah.
I've always had that as a kid. Like somebody tells me to do this, and I'm like, it's always gonna be like way more, Like I like to give more than what I'm expected so that they're extra happy with that. That's why I love working with people who are easy to work with and they're respectful for your time. I love the confidence that you have to have confidence not in yourself, not just in yourself, but what you're selling and the abundant mindset. It's a lot of mindset stuff that you're saying. And I love that, I don't need you. I don't need, necessarily your business. But if you're going to act like this, just like what you said, then, it's not a good match. I had a sales call yesterday and it was interesting because then I saw different posts on it on Facebook, and this guy was looking for like a videographer for like a 3 to 4 times a week get together for like 3 hours per occasion to shoot for an artist. And I was on the phone with him,
Wow.
and he was looking for like, and I'm like, look, I think. I didn't say I think. I said I'm your boy. Like, this is what I do. I love working with artists. I've done documentary films. I love capturing, the natural essence of like the whole process, story base, like when you're an artist, people love to connect with you, not some artificially made up thing, and and then I gave him like a quote. And then he was like, "Oh, what if you just use your phone or something?" It's like, just because I use my phone, now my services are worth less. Like, I have literally a tremendous, like, awesome gear here that I've used to create really good content with. And then he comes back. Wait, I forget to tell you. So before that, he told me that it's a famous band in Europe. He can't disclose the name. They're American. I'm like, okay. And then he comes back to me and says, "Oh, we just changed it. It's once a week for 3 hours." And I said, "Okay, well, if you put me on like what is it called? You get paid monthly, a retainer, like I'll do it for this much." And since then, he never came back to me. I'm like, how can you say that you're working with like a famous band and they don't even have they have a subpar budget for creating content that they
Mm,
hope to get results with? And I'm like,
that's crazy.
it's crazy, man. Like, if you're a famous band, not even famous bands have hired me for thousands of bucks to create videos and stuff.
Was this the manager or who was this guy?
I think this guy was somewhat of a role who does marketing, but he said, "Oh, we don't want to do marketing type of stuff. We want to do very organic." And I'm like, "Okay, well, all of it is going to be like behind the scenes and things like that." Like, I've got a good, very wide variety of portfolios, so there's no freaking magic there.
Dude,
If
one thing you could try to do too, like that's one thing I've tried before. Like, and I guess this is a sales tactic, but I don't mean it as a tactic. This is what I genuinely like to do.
Mm,
So in sales, the thing that I do that's like the opposite of what everyone else does when I get on
mm,
sales calls, I love pushing people away from me in discovery, like all the
mm,
time. I fucking love doing that all the time. And in objection handling, I'm just like, dude, go do that. I'm like, go do that. Like I had a guy um one time say, well, if I pay you, I, I could just take the money I'd pay you and just go run the ads. I'm like, well, why don't you just go do that then?
whoa,
Go do it. I think you
interesting.
should do that. And I love doing that because what I love to do is I love to help people find the best path for themselves.
Mm,
And if that's what they think the best path for themselves is, then that's great. However, in a sales call, most of the time, what they're going to tell you is all the fucking problems they have. So here's
mm,
how usually sales calls go. In discovery, all they do is tell you about their problems.
mhm,
Then you give them the solution, and then they tell you why they can't do it. And it's like, no, you told me your problem. I gave you the solution. Now you can't do it. They compete with themselves.
mm.
And so, as the sales professionals that you and I are, we need to be able to say, well, then why don't you just go back to having your problems? Go back to have your problems then.
And you say it just directly like that?
What
Or
I mean, yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
will. Yes, I will. I'll frame it to their problem though. I'm like, well, dude, you came to this, you came to this making 5K a month, but you want to make more. So then go back to make 5K a month then, if that's fine with
Mm.
you. I don't care. Go
It's
back.
just funny because it sound like they wanted somebody with experience, but they wanna pay the wage of, like, somebody just bought an iPhone 17 Pro
Bro,
Max and a
good.
gimbal. I'm like, well, you know,
Yeah, and it's like good for them. That's
it's not the
fucking
same
good.
thing. I mean,
You can also like what I'll do is I like to sometimes you got to educate them. Sometimes you got to be like, "Hey man, if you want to spend 300 a month or 500 a month for a videographer, that's awesome. Here's what you'll get." Just so you know. Because a lot of times, bro, and this isn't their fault. The problem is their egos make them seem like douchebags, but it's
mhm,
not their fault. The problem is their expectations and the reality are so out of whack that they
mm,
don't know, they just don't know. And so they're gonna come off like a douchebag. And
mm,
you and me are gonna sit there angry, being like, you're a fucking idiot. But we need to have the abundant mindset to realize it's not their fault that they're fucking stupid and acting like a douchebag. It's not their fault. We need to educate them. And so when you come from a place of abundance, you're like, dude, listen, if you want to, like for me, dude, go spend the money on the ads, go do it. But if you knew how to run the ads, you'd have done it by now. We would have never had this sales call. So clearly, you just going to spend the money on the ads wouldn't work. We've already proved it because that's why you're here. So even you said you could just go spend the money on the ads, but you don't even think that's the solution. And then they're like, fuck, he's right. I mean, but I'm abundant enough to educate them.
mm,
And I'm abundant enough to be ready to get the fuck off the call anyways.
mm. I love it.
Yeah.
I had a couple of thoughts in my head, but I'm just immersed in what you just said.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean,
Oh,
that's the hardest part about sales is being able to control your emotions and control your mind. You know,
okay.
all these things that sound like word tracks and objection, they are word tracks and objection handlers, but they're so innate to me because I've paid so much money and I've done my reps. So everyone's like, "Oh, your sales tactics." Like, "Oh, I know that sale." I'm like, "It's not a fucking sales tactic, bro." You know, the guy was like, "Oh, you're pulling the sale away. I know that sale." I'm like, "It's not a sales tactic, dude. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go have dinner. I'm hungry. There ain't no fucking tactic here. I don't need to
Yeah,
work with you, and I'm ready to go cook my chicken breast. So what are
mm,
we doing?" Like that. There's no tactic. I
I
don't give
get
a
it.
shit. So, but yeah,
That reminds me of what my teacher said, who was very harsh on me. He said something like that, like, I'm here for you. I don't need to be here. Like, this is all the stuff that I'm showing you that can better you as a guitarist that you need in real life, in real world. You don't need all those crazy jazz chords, you know. But so earlier you talked about the self-sabotaging and things like that. A lot of it that I'm hearing is a lot of mindset thing, internal things that one can do to be a better conveyor of your value, of not being needy and things like that. Do you think a lot of artists, musicians are not reaching their goals because some of these skills they haven't practiced, earned, or learned?
the mental skills specifically.
Mental skills,
Hmm.
yeah. So, like, how did you overcome when you told me that you had a period of your business adventure or venture where
I love
you
that word,
felt
business adventure. I'm gonna start saying that. I love that you said that.
so when you were in your own adventure, your journey, your business journey, first, how did you realize that A, you were self-sabotaging or you were the one you were the one between successfully and an I don't want to use unsuccessful, but
I get what you're
between
saying.
potential fulfilled. But I hate using these words because it's such like I don't like the word talent or genius. I think these are like vanity words because
Sure.
it's like it's like saying that you're good at something because you were born with like an innate gift, but I think you're practicing and you get super freaking laser focused at it, and you do it so much that you can't be good, not good at
I
it, you
agree.
know. So it's like you say, you wake up every single day and you're excited about learning, excited about your whole day and things like that. I said a lot, so let's unpack on that other question of a how did you how did you look back at where you were mentally and say, okay, I need to change this and in my mentality to move past that hurdle?
So, I mean, you can always just look at your outcomes and your external. Your external is a reflection of your internal.
Mm,
So if your external is not where you want it to be, that means you fucked up internally, and it's a,
right.
our current state and our current situation is a result of our past actions.
Mm.
So if I looked at my external state and I'm like, things are not the way I want them to be, and it's because of how I've acted up to this point in my life. The
I was
the
very
the thing about
well
the
said.
past, I think, I think the past is a bitch. The past is a bitch because it's like, God damn it, I wish I just known that in the past, but you
Mm,
don't know it until it's the past. And that's why you don't wanna reflect on the past too much, you get depressed. But, yeah, I mean, I looked at my external and I'm like, "Look, I'm not where I wanna be. I'm not making 100K a month. I don't own my Porsche Macan. I don't have my mansion, so things aren't up to the level I know I can be at. So why not? There's other people
interesting.
who are younger than me who have these things.
Mm,
Why not? Not that those things bring happiness. We don't need to go down that route, but the amount of money in your bank, the amount of money in the bank, the number on the scale, the house, the car, these are reflections of your internal state and what you've done up to the past. They're not what your judgment, dude. There's plenty of rich people who don't drive nice cars. That doesn't mean they're poor. It just means, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I was like, dude, how did I like, I mean, dude, the biggest one was just like, I'm still getting better, but like managing cash flow is like a skill that I suck at. And a lot of people suck at. And so it's like, I've made how is it that people, and me included, have made hundreds of thousands of dollars and haven't kept hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like most of the entrepreneurs that I know, I'd say 99% of the guys that I know that make lots of money, that are on the wins channels of their coaches' coaching programs, have not kept any of the money they've made.
Mm,
I know coaches who've made 7 figures and have $20,000 in their bank account within a year.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, so it's like, it's not just me and the 6-figure people, it's the 7-figure people too. So
Mm,
that's part of it, bro. It's also like money management. And so when I realized, holy fuck, I suck at managing my money. That's insane. I'm really bad at it. So that was kind of, it was like the external stuff really made me reflect on the internal, and it just made me lock in and make a change.
do you have somebody who holds you accountable?
Yeah, I have like a financial advisor that I'm working with right now. His name's Eduardo Leo, and he specializes in online coaches. So he's
Mm,
basically like it's like a done with you fractional CFO. It's really cool. He like
mm,
comes into your business, helps you set up your system, manages your shit with you, looks at your shit, tells you where the money should go, helps you set up your system. It's like he takes the financial stuff off my brain. And he's also one of my best friends, so we talk frequently. So
mm.
it's a good relationship. Basically, he was like, "Look, dude," and I was like, "I don't want to hire you because I just rather would learn how to do it myself." And he was like, "Well, how long has it taken you to learn the sales and marketing?" I'm like, "Probably like 10 years." He's like, "Do you wanna take another 10 years to learn the money, or do you just want me
Woo!
to do it?"
That was a good one.
I was like, "Good point." So I hired him. He's like, "Dude," he's like, "If you hire me, you just fast forwarded 10 years." I was like, "Great, you're right, I'll hire you." And so I hired
Wow.
him. So, yeah, he's my guy for that.
That
And if
was
anybody wants a referral,
yeah.
I'll refer you to him. He's the fucking man.
Wow, man. That is awesome. I don't know if I mentioned to you in our previous call, but after I finished school, I one of the worst decisions I made, which at the point I didn't think that obviously, was to get into business with friends solely.
I've done
With
that.
without understanding what individually and together our financial needs would be, and also I became their support system and how they were able to stay in the States, so it was a lot of internal things, and
Okay.
none of us were good at all these skills like client acquisition, how to charge, how to handle hard clients, difficult clients, overthinking clients. It was like a 5, 6-year-old ongoing loop of not going anywhere, and
Huh.
nobody thought about, "Why are we still doing this?" Like, "Why are we" like, we can still be friends, but obviously this is not a workable solution that is being actively brought further, and we work with very good people, well, we had good success that looked good, but like what you said with the cash flow, like 6 7 figure people, by the end of whatever time frame, they still had a little smaller amount in their pockets. Like we have all this portfolio, but yet it wasn't scaled up.
Right.
And after a while, of course, my parents, my wife, and my wife, were like, "Hey, you're so good. Like, why don't you do it yourself?" And I'm like, "Oh, but we're so good. We're so talented, and the
Right.
potential." Again, I'm coming back to like the potential. That's why it's such a bullshit word because it's meaningless until you gave it meaning by actually having strategies and having um not just personalities, but skills that work within the group. So if they're
Yeah.
doing the same thing you're doing, why are you like Alex Hormozy? And I know you're an Alex Hormozy fan. I can
Yeah, he's dope.
tell. I can tell. And I want to.
I'm a lot less than other people, and I'm less than I used to be, but he's dope as fuck. His book, $100 Million Offers, changed my life for sure. But some people fucking, I don't know. Some people worship the guy. I'm like, dude, I don't worship anybody. Like, people are a little too obsessed, but no, he's dope as fuck. I fuck with him. He's cool.
So he's got like acronyms, and I remember reading his book or listening to his book when he talked about like here are the 5 things you gotta you know ask yourself or ask, before you partner with somebody. And I'm like, oh no, none of this ticked off. And I'm like, shit. And it just, and it was a long time to make, it took a long time to make that decision because it was coming from a place of fear. Like, what will happen to them if I make this choice for myself? And I'm like, oh, but am I allowed to make a choice for myself? Which was a stupid thing to think about because you ultimately have to make choices that puts you in a better position so you can also help other people, if
That's
that
right.
makes sense. I hope it makes sense. I think it
Sure.
makes sense. But and then we decided to split, and it was just me and my other friend, and we had the same freaking cycle. And then I split, and that's when I started to notice so much incremental changes in my business that I said, okay, now I wish. That's why I refer back to what you said, the past is a bitch, because you're like, well, if only I had trusted myself sooner, only if I had done this and that or went with my gut then, but it doesn't fucking matter anymore. What matters is like you said, the past made you that, and however what you're deciding to do will define your future. So you got to have these sort of questions to check on yourself and your progress, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Um, dude, real quick, I do have to go. I have a sales call in 4
All
minutes.
good. All good. Oh my. So Lee, where can people find you, and what do you want people to know about you, Lee? I mean, they
They
can
kind of
know
know
a lot.
everything, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, best place to find me, I would say my YouTube channel, Leezy the Gifted. Yeah,
Okay.
Leezy the Gifted is the best place. Give me my YouTube channel. Um, if you're a music coach and you want to build your music coaching business, DM me on Instagram at Lee Nathan Litvin, Litvin. DM me on Instagram at Lee Nathan Litvin on Instagram. Go check out my YouTube channel though. I've got hella videos on there that are going to give you a ton of value. Leezy the Gifted on YouTube. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for Lee. Really, I appreciate this conversation. It's something that I wish I got in when I got out of school. I wish schools had changed what they taught because a lot of things schools nowadays teach. I don't even want to say nowadays. I think it's applicable to say schools don't teach these very important things to how to succeed in your career when you're an entrepreneur.
yeah, no,
you
they
know
don't.
so I think these are incredible things. So when you go to school, you not only pay for school, but then you have to pay for coaches.
Right, right.
You have, but school's already so expensive. But anyway, people like you are incredibly important. So again,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you for chatting with me, and like, share, and subscribe, and you'll see more Caffeinated Creatives videos in the channel. Check it out.